A sun-splashed September afternoon here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as we are happy to bring you coverage of the inaugural Las Vegas Pickleball Open here at the Plaza Hotel and Casino at 1 Main Street, Las Vegas. Hey everybody, welcome to Las Vegas State Benz. Hanging out with Melissa McCurley and Mark Renison. And guys, we're excited to be here and be a part of this tournament as pickleball continues to grow and yet another major tournament added to the schedule.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a great week. We started with an amateur event the first part of the week and then are going on with the pros today.
Mark, you've seen this sport really grow, and to see a tournament like this with a large purse for the pros, it really is impressive.
What a thrill. This is one of the richest pickleball tournaments in the sport right now. And so to come to such a beautiful place in Las Vegas here at the Plaza Hotel is a real treat for spectators and players.
Yeah, the purse of $25,000 vaults it right to the top of pickleball tournaments that are being played around the country right now. Over 300 players, not just from the United States, but 4 countries represented in this tournament here. We are excited to get the coverage underway. Let's play some pickleball here in Sin City. Don't go anywhere. Live action coming your way next. Welcome back to Las Vegas as we continue our live coverage here from the Las Vegas Pickleball Open, the inaugural ever Las Vegas Pickleball Open, but the first of what we believe will be many, many tournaments. And we have reached the pro mixed doubles bronze medal match. And we're seeing for the second time today here on Championship Court, Simone Jardim and Kyle Yates, who are in the far court. And they are opposed by Corrine, Carr, Shine, or CCS as we dubbed her yesterday, and her teammate Zaen Affleck.
Yeah, and this is the mixed pro bronze medal match. So the winner of this match will go on to play Tyson and Sarah for the gold.
We saw Tyson McGuffin and Sarah Ansbury earlier today, and they defeated Jardim and Yates to advance to the gold medal match. So Jardim and Yates trying to get back into the gold medal match after losing earlier today.
Yeah, and this should be an interesting match. I mean, obviously Corrine and Simone know each other very well as being longtime women's doubles partners.
Nice dig there by Affleck. And then he hits it into the net.
Yeah, I know he's been playing very well today. I know earlier this afternoon, Corrine wasn't feeling too well, had to go on a timeout. I talked to her just before the match here, and she said, well, it's not as hot as it was earlier today, and so she says we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, she needed a medical timeout, got worked on in the medical tent, and then resumed play during her match against Christine McGrath. And I did not know whom Christine was playing against, or playing with,
Ben Johns.
With Ben Johns.
Yeah, and they went on to win that match, Zaen and Corrine did. And that brought him here for the opportunity to play Kyle and Simone.
Oh, a nice reach by Corrine.
Yeah, and Corrine is probably, arguably, one of the very best defensive players in the women's game. She's just outstanding.
Both Affleck and CCS going over to the side there, right up in your grill in the front row.
Yeah.
That could have ended badly. They're both so quick. They're both going after the ball. Zaen Affleck, I played against him back in April at the US Open, and when we were just on the court warming up, getting ready, an errant ball went over the fence, and the fence was about 4.5 feet high, and the guy just jumped it. No hands or anything, just jumped it like it was a hurdle. It's unbelievable. So I do not expect that we're going to see many lobs that are beating Affleck in this match. Maybe, Dave, you should talk to him about the basketball team.
See if he's interested in also playing some basketball in the NBA. I hear they pay well.
Yeah, and speaking of pay, this tournament here at the Plaza is paying pretty well too. The winners of the mixed doubles go home with $4,000. That's split between the two, and $1,300 for second and $750 for third.
Corrine ultimately hits that one into the net, but guys, am I wrong in my observation that I feel like Corrine is playing the highest level of pickleball that I've ever seen her play?
Yeah, she really impressed me in the final at the U.S. Open. I mean, she was under fire, and she showed what a true champion is, and being able to stay under that fire and weather the storm. Probably weathered more storms than I've ever seen anyone weather, and she's just continued to play at that level ever since April.
Such a tremendous athlete, a collegiate golfer. We've talked about that in our coverage of pickleball before, and I mentioned yesterday, she told me she still has aspirations of playing golf and getting back into some tournaments and seeing where that may take her.
I have no doubt she would excel. She's a very positive young woman, always has a smile on her face, just a genuine nice person.
There's going to be a dispute, I think.
Well, they rule the point.
The referee's calling it in. What were you thinking, Mark? It was out?
Kyle initially called the ball out, and I think it got overruled either by the referee or by his partner.
And as you noted earlier, no line judges except for the gold medal matches here on Championship Court.
We actually do have lines judge for this match here.
Now I stand corrected again.
They snuck in here on us. And all the matches here have been refereed at the Las Vegas Open, amateur and pro, by certified referees. We've also had certified referees as the line judges.
It has been top-notch all week long. They have really taken care of everything you could hope to have addressed in running a tournament here in Las Vegas. And much credit goes to Grant Garcia, who is the tournament director, and his team. Also Jonathan Jossel, the CEO of the Plaza Hotel and Casino.
And then the Pickleball Channel has just been doing great coverage all week long here. They've been taping all kinds of footage that they then always do a great job of going back and editing and sharing with the rest of the pickleball community, whether it's 411 or tips or strategies or stories about people in the pickleball world who've had an impact on the game.
Wow, Corrine's defense unbelievable, but then finally Kyle just says enough of this.
Yeah, but look at that smile. I mean, does it get any better than that?
Yeah, and I think we've talked previously about how much more common a two-handed backhand is, and we talked about it in terms of getting more power, using that non-dominant hand to generate more speed on the backhand, but it's also really great to defend. And so you saw there Corrine get that left hand on, and when those balls came fast and low to her backhand, which is otherwise a pretty weak position to be in, she's got that left hand there to support it and get more balls back in play.
Some people chiming in on our Facebook live stream. John Moore saying loving the production values. Our producer Ray Koliakovo is having a big smile on his face in the truck reading that one. And Betty, I don't want to mispronounce her middle name, but Wilhiti, saying so awesome we can watch this live on Facebook.
Yeah, the production truck always doing a great job. So this is this high quality. And I know a lot of people from around have taken their devices and plugged them into their TV and huddling around the TV and multiple people watching.
We were discussing that last night at dinner at Oscars, how if you get it on your device and you just use your mirroring option onto your Roku or your Apple TV or whatever you're using, you can put it on your television.
I'm old school. I still plug mine in with an HDMI cable.
Well, that'll work too. So 4-6-2, Jardim and Yates trying to climb out in the around the post shot.
I think we heard an out call.
Yeah.
There was, so that
they did rule it a point, so 5-6-2.
And just for the viewers, this is a bronze medal match. They do play 2 out of 3. games to 11, win by 2 in this bronze medal match. Whoever wins goes on to play for gold, has a chance to win that.
And whoever loses has to settle for the bronze.
Yeah, that's the worst they can do is bronze at this point. And this is a brand new championship court here at the Las Vegas Plaza. I know when I came out here in March to check out the venue, this was still a tennis court. And they had the vision to resurface it into this beautiful championship court that we see here this evening.
You know, the one thing about this double elimination format is, you know, I've done a little bit of Olympic work, and they would always say, and some people would tell you they'd rather win a bronze than a silver because then you had the feeling of winning your final match in the Olympics.
Yeah.
But you don't get that here. If you get the bronze, you've lost, and then if you get the silver, you've also lost.
I guess that's true. But you've won all day long to be able to get there and earn that medal. I guess it's all in the way we look at it.
That's a great return of serve from Corrine. So hitting the return of serve deep is important because that way your opponents are further back away from you. And so even if they do choose to drive the ball at you at the net, because they're hitting from so far back, you're going to have more time to handle it. And so what we're seeing from these players so far, even in slightly gusty conditions, is pretty consistently being able to return that serve deep enough so that the servers have to hit the third shot from behind the baseline.
It is interesting, though, because from our vantage point, we can see the flags in the background that you cannot see on your television screen right now. And the winds are swirling. And for most of the day, it was from where we're sitting, it was going left to right. But now it seems to be going more from a right to left. Or from near court to far court on your screen.
It doesn't seem to be a factor currently with as far as the players in their play.
It's a heck of a point going on right there, and then finally Affleck puts it away.
That was quite a point. I think Simone ended up on the ground 2 or 3 times there defending. We talked about how important it is to be able to defend, to be able to get low, because it's those low balls that are the hardest to handle, and she did a great job of getting down there low. We've seen some other players, most notably Brian Ashworth, Brian the Beard Ashworth, he's sometimes referred to as, being able to get low on the ground, sometimes even putting down their knee, almost as if they're a goalie trying to block a ball.
Brief stoppage right now. You can see top right on your screen. Kyle Yates is actually doing a little groundwork. The wind had blown over the banners on the side, and they try to get that all restored. The wind isn't, for the most part, where we are, we're not consistently feeling it, but there are the gusts, and that's something you just can't predict or really account for.
No, but those stands with the banners on them must be pretty light.
The sun is not as much of a factor as it was previous, and it's becoming less and less of a factor as time goes on here, finally dipping down below the tower of the Plaza Hotel and Casino. The South Tower, to be exact.
I think the sun may have gotten Kyle there. He's looking up a little bit there. It's a block that he missed. It looked like it might have been a bit of an impact for him.
So there's an example of trying to hit that good deep return. Kyle had the right idea, just missed it by probably about 6 inches.
We have John Bamberger, who's saying he's watching it on the big screen back home in Naples. John was here earlier this week competing in the skills division. John, you got to stay with us next year and watch it live.
Yeah, you came all this way. Why not stay for the weekend?
That's right, yeah.
That's a good finish there by Corrine. One of the things that's really impressed me is I feel like she's improved her ability to put away high balls. I'm used to seeing her in the past where it sometimes takes 2 or 3 or even 4 attempts sometimes. And what I've seen this week is that when she does get that ball up above net level and hit hard, she's done a good job of finishing the point.
They close the door right there. Game point, and 11-5 strike here in game number 1 by CCS and Zaen Affleck. And boy, we expected Jardim and Yates to really dominate. They're in the hole in a big way here after losing game 1. Game number 2 from Las Vegas coming your way after this timeout. Stay with us from Sin City. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown, Miller Lite, and by Highlands. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, Sin City. We move on to game number 2, this best of 3 bronze medal match in the pro mixed doubles division. And a little bit of a surprise here to see Yates and Jardim down 1-0 here in this match, and their backs against the wall already in the opportunity bracket.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, you know, now Zaen is showing why that side might be a bit of a disadvantage. The sun in his eyes, just not able to see. But, you know, they're playing some great pickleball out here. Some folks might be surprised to see Zaen and Corrine here. But, you know, at this level of play, it's going to be anybody's day.
Well, Affleck and Carr have not yet made an unforced error this whole match. And so if they keep playing solid, steady pickleball like this, they're going to be putting pressure on Yates and Jardim.
So side out, Corrine, Carr, Siebenshine's husband, Rafael. Siebenshine in his own right, a very well-respected and well-decorated pickleball player. Did not come to the tournament, but he is watching our live stream, and he says he's taking some of the credit for Corrine's success. He says he's been telling her to be more aggressive in mixed doubles.
No, well, good for Rafa. You know, she's and we're seeing that here. But I tell you, her defense is really what seems to win games for her. And so she adds that with some more aggressive offense. She just might become unstoppable.
Ooh, Affleck going for the kill,
yeah.
but hits it into the net.
Yeah, he's certainly wishing he could have that one back.
Zaen Affleck, who describes his pickleball strategy as dink, 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 smash. Went for the smash there.
So there's some obvious frustration here from Yates. From Yates and Jardim. They've been a little bit rattled here, going down early, losing the first game and being up just 1-0 in game 2.
Both of them winning gold yesterday in their respected doubles brackets.
Wow, that's
What around the post shot that was unreturnable. Was that what that was?
Yeah, he did great, and he had some time. And when coming around there, and he waited for that ball to get pretty low before he hit it back.
And he switched to the left hand for it. An offhand around the post between the net and the referee. That's a good shot.
Athleticism at its best, isn't it?
Kyle Yates puts that one away.
And I was going to ask you, Mark, but I guess, you know, what is it that Kyle and Simone have to do to get back into the game? But at this point, if Corrine and Affleck don't start making errors, it may be difficult to get back in.
Yeah, I think right now.
Ooh, what a get by Zaen.
Jeez, what concentration.
And then he's able to get to that one as well. Wow, Zaen
Wow.
Affleck putting on a show here on championship court.
Yeah.
That he is. I mean, geez. I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, how do you have an answer to that?
Well,
I mean,
if I was Jardim and Yates right now, I'd take a timeout and ask that exact question. I'm not sure that Kyle's power game that he's going to and that he does so effectively, I'm not sure that's working right now. Corrine, as you said before, Melissa, is defending really well, and Affleck is so good at knowing when not to hit a ball. And so if I was Yates and Jardim, I think I'd try to work this dink game a little bit more. There's great defense again, and it was in.
Ruled out by the line judge, and you can hear Kyle's reaction.
Yeah,
but you know what?
And Corinne's going to agree that the ball was in. No,
the judge saying he called it out, and the official staying without. And Kyle now pleading his case.
Yeah, and I
so
think
Carr and Affleck are going to say that it was in.
Yeah, I'm The player should be able to overrule this.
He can't overrule, but then that's a bad precedent because then you're saying, well, what point is it if I'm not going to trust my line judge?
You know what's going to happen if they don't do overrule, I bet, is that they're going to intentionally give away the next point. Sort of like
well,
yes.
Kyle and Simone looking at us, and not really much we can do. We can show you a replay, but at the end of the day, we have no control over what the decision is here.
They're looking here to me because I run the tournament operations for this particular tournament. So their question is, can they call the head ref over? And the answer to that question is yes.
From that vantage point, it does look like it catches part of the line, and nobody had a better view of it than Corrine Carr Siebenschein.
Yeah, I've seen this happen in other tournaments, and the players were able to overrule it. I've seen that in other sports as well.
We're going to take a short time out while they sort it out. We'll be back to Vegas in a moment. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown. Miller Lite and by Head. Back here in Las Vegas, during the timeout, they've sorted it out. They have ruled that the shot from Kyle Yates was in. So now they're just trying to sort out what the exact score should be. And we have it as still 1-0.
Score is 0-1-2.
0-1-2 as Affleck will now serve. Carr finally hits it out. And, you know, guys, I want to ask you, you have a moment like that where the emotions start to flare a little bit. Could that be a turning point in this match? Could that light a fire under Jardim and Yates?
You know, it could light a little bit of a fire, but I think the way that it was handled and ultimately the outcome could, you know, maybe not be as much fuel as it could have been had it not gone their way.
Yeah, I mean, both these players, this is why it's interesting that, you know, Kyle and Simone as a team, because they both have the same sort of like passion when they play, and I think that can go to their advantage, but if you're not careful and that gets the better of you, it can go the other way too. So I expect that they're going to calm down a little bit here. They got the result they wanted. They're in the lead. There's no reason for them to dwell on the past.
Well, 3-0 advantage now. And Simone hits it into the net. Affleck hits it out.
And a line judge, I guess, was trying to be funny, said way out.
4-0-2.
And Kyle Yates getting more aggressive here.
Yeah, and how about now, since we had the stoppage, 4 straight points. It was 1-0, now 5-0. 5-0-2, the correct score.
So maybe that fuel that you were talking about, change in momentum, is actually occurring here.
Well, side out, so now a chance to get on the scoreboard for CCS and Affleck.
Yeah, this is the kind of game style that I think, watch out.
Corrine goes for the around the post. Kyle scooped it out, but Affleck puts it away.
Yeah, I think overall that strategy was an effective one. Jardim just hit the ball a little bit too wide, and then that opens up that around the post we talked about. Good defense from Yates, though. Ooh.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and did you see that? Did you see how Corrine, so Affleck had to go way out wide, right? And so Corrine, she moves into the middle of the court, so she's positioning herself to be able to play a ball that comes back from Yates or Jardim back to her, allowing then Zaen Affleck to be able to get back into the court, and ultimately they got the point.
And
Well
that ball
played.
ruled out. We appreciate you watching us here on this live stream on Facebook and also RU Live. If you have an opportunity to share, let people know that you're watching this. Let's get the number count up because this has been some fantastic pickleball. And of course, after this match is over, we will have the gold medal match here in the mixed doubles pro division.
That's right. Tyson McGuffin and Sarah Ansberry await the winner of this match.
In fact, I can see Sarah Ansberry getting some warm-up work in with Vivian Edwards on one of the courts in the background here of Championship Court. Corrine unable to handle that Yates offering.
And it's 6-2. Oh, that was a nice drive by Simone. It was down low, down that line. Zaen had to stick out a backhand to try to get that back.
That's still the spot where there's some sun coming in over the fence, and so I like that idea of when someone has that disadvantage of the sun, those low fastballs at them.
So our next break we will. Momentum starting to build here for Jardim and Yates. They've got it to a 9-2 advantage. So you feel like if this thing goes to a third game, it's going to be advantage for Jardim and Yates, at least in terms of momentum. And you talked about the unforced errors early, and now they are starting to creep in for Affleck and Carr Siebenschein.
Yeah, that's the 5th unforced error that they've made in the match and the 5th in this game.
And the game point.
There it is.
And off of Carr, so a resounding comeback here by Jardim and Yates in game number 2 after an emotional outburst on a questionable call. They use that emotion and bottle it up to their advantage. They get a resounding victory here in game number 2, and we are tied at 1 game apiece. A third and decisive game coming up next. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown, Miller Lite, and by Highlands. Back here in Las Vegas, Nevada, ready for game number 3, the pro mixed doubles gold or a bronze medal game. The gold medal berth on the line here for whoever wins this third game. Loser of this game will have to settle for the bronze medal here in Las Vegas. Affleck and CCS dominant in game number 1. Jardim and Yates dominant in game number 2.
And it seemed in game 2, the difference was those unforced errors, Mark.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we did have that turning point where there's a controversial call early on. That did seem to kind of inspire Jardim and Yates a little bit. And Carr, Siebenschein, and Affleck started to miss a few more balls. And, I mean, that's a big part of pickleball, right? Is sometimes the other team is just playing really well. And so what you have to do is weather the storm, keep up the pressure, and hope that they start to make a few errors.
Affleck puts it away. Jardim couldn't catch up with it. So a 1-0 advantage here as CCS and Affleck draw first blood. Talked about the unforced errors just moments ago. There's one.
0-1-1, Jardim serving.
Affleck between the legs, but it goes long, out of bounds.
We saw there where that ball clipped the top of the net and just dribbled over. We talked yesterday about how that's something that strong players do, is they assume that ball is going to come over the net, even though it's touched it, and so they're ready for it. And so Kyle did a great job of closing in on it, getting it, playing an unattackable shot, and getting back in the point.
1-1-2 in this decisive third game. And Affleck hits it out of bounds.
I know we have a question about what is the temperature. It is 94 degrees here in Las Vegas, but here in the shade, I'd say it's a good 10 degrees cooler at least, wouldn't you say?
Feels pretty hot to me. I don't know.
Oh, well, you're from Canada.
I'll take your word for it.
Affleck puts it away. The temperature gauge across the street, it doesn't seem to be, it's not legible to me.
It's not working, so I had to pull it up on AccuWeather. Yeah.
It was more convenient to just have the temperature gauge right there.
Yes, it was.
Nice scoop there by Affleck. And then Yates able to show the power game along with the finesse. But just a little bit long.
What a great
time.
lob.
Yeah, great time. Great timing and execution.
Good timing, good execution, and I like the decision to go cross court, where she has a little bit longer distance to work with, a little more court, and that makes it more likely that ball is going to land in play. And that was a clean winner. Simone couldn't even touch it.
Nick Lyman on the Facebook stream saying it is 48 degrees right now in Buffalo. I'll take 94.
That's tough. So Kyle, we talked earlier about Kyle's strength and how he seems to have become fitter over the last year or so. And to be able to do shots like that, to be able to hit that backhand with speed from a low position like that, is one of the dividends that getting it more fit for pickleball pays.
Affleck turns it into a power game for a moment, and Yates into the net. 2-2-2. And Jardim is wide. By the way, guys, we finally are, well, I was going to say until Kyle came and stood over and his face was illuminated in the sun. I was going to say we're finally at a point where the sun is no longer a factor. It is still just a little bit.
Just barely caught the back of the line. That's a good volley. Not easy to generate that much speed high on the backhand. Kyle did a good job with it there. 2-2-2.
Been stuck on twos for a little while here.
A left-handed overhead smash from Jardim. Didn't get quite as much power on it as she would like, but she hit it effectively enough, put it in a good spot.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised Kyle went up and got that one because I thought maybe it was going to go out of bounds, but ultimately it doesn't matter. And now Affleck with a look at the line judge after that shot was called out. Did not like that call. Look at the replay, you can see why.
Uh-oh. So another dispute, another disagreement about the call. So this ball was called out by the line judge. Simone stopped the point, and Simone stopped the point and said no, that ball was in play. So she was actually making the call against herself. You can see here. That ball is in the court.
It's in by a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right in the center of the line there. And so Simone did the right thing. She said, hey, that ball was actually in. It shouldn't have been called out. She made the call against herself. And so what she is trying to argue is that the point should be replayed, whereas the referee is saying that, hey, you stopped play because you were questioning this call, and you were wrong, so this is going to get messy.
And this is the second dispute over a line call that we've had in this match. Tell you what, though, this speaks a lot to the character of Simone, because her willingness to be able to want to get the call right versus take advantage of a call that favors her.
Yeah, you know what's hard about this, and I don't know, I can imagine the emails coming in already, but I think in a lot of cases, the players would rather make their own line calls. These guys know each other, they see each other week in, week out on the circuit, and they trust each other for the most part. And so in some cases, they don't like giving away that power to referees or lines judges who get to make those calls, and sometimes the players aren't sure they always get it right.
If you're going to have a line judge, do you think you need to have a line judge in all four corners?
Oh, definitely, and that's the solution they're going to put in place here. They've just placed 2 more line judges on the other end, so because it's very difficult for this person on this end to be able to call the line all the way through. I mean, it's a long distance, and they're looking through a net.
So we play on with the score knotted at 2 apiece. Feels like it's been knotted at 2 for a long time.
2-2-2.
You know, Raphael Siebenschein chiming in saying Simone should have hit that ball. It would have been in play, so then there wouldn't have been a need to replay.
Oh.
It just went off the end of Carr's paddle, went out. 3-2-2. Kyle Yates serving.
Finally breaking that 2-2 tie.
So it's been interesting to see earlier on in the match when Carr and Affleck were winning. It was at the time where Yates and Jardim were really going at the power game. And now they've seemed to have taken more time, slowed it down a little bit. They're playing more drops, they're playing more dinks, they're working the point. And I think that Carr and Affleck really like the fast game, and so they're struggling to deal with these balls that are now getting lower and slower below the net.
Well, Carr and Affleck getting the serve back now, down by 3. Again, this is the bronze medal game, so the winner of this match will move on to play for gold. The loser will settle for bronze.
What a good reset by Corrine. Oh.
Wow.
Yates says to Jardim, get out of my way, and finishes the point.
Zaen tried to keep it alive, but ultimately could not.
Yates was close to falling into the non-volley zone after hitting that overhead. I think he's pretty happy that he didn't. That, of course, would mean that you lose the point because an overhead is a volley. And even if you volley from outside of the kitchen or the non-volley zone, if your momentum takes you in, you lose.
Serve going back over now to Jardim and Yates. 5-2-1 here in game number 3.
And some questions out there that are being answered on Facebook about who is the referee. It is Mark Pfeiffer. He is one of the certified refs who's been here all week long calling matches and doing a great job.
With it 6-2 now, they're going to change sides of the court. We will take a quick timeout, back with the conclusion of game 3 here in Las Vegas after this temporary break. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown, and by Miller Lite and Franklin, the X40, the official ball of the Las Vegas Pickleball Open. Back here in Las Vegas, Nevada, a couple of false starts on my part there. I had my volume turned down, didn't think my mic was open. We had a few false starts here in this match, but the level that we have seen has been fantastic. And Corrine, Carr, Siebenschein being taking advantage, I should say, of the timeout to catch her breath. We mentioned she needed a medical timeout earlier today in her match against Christine McGrath and Ben Johns, a match that she and Zaen Affleck ultimately came through to win. And she is good to go, and we're continuing on here.
Yeah, but I know Mark went over to see her. I know earlier in the day she had told me before the match she had just really gotten too hot, and I think this was something different, huh, Mark?
Yeah, she looked like she was okay in there, just trying to look. This is the third game. You know, as you said earlier, Melissa, you can't take the timeouts with you once it's over, so you might as well use them. Players, of course, switch halfway through. They switch after 6 points in a game number 3 like this. That's to make sure that it's fair for both teams in terms of wind and sun and other things that might give one side of the court an advantage over another.
Carr into the net. Well, we can finally say sun no longer a factor here on Championship Court, but the wind has been a factor all afternoon.
7-2.
Yeah, and that's not going to help Zaen and Corrine get back into this, right? That's the type of unforced error that will let a game slip away from you, especially when you're down 2-8. Oh, and there's another one.
Make it 2-9.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that makes players like Jardim and Yates so great, is that even if they're behind, even if they're down, they find a way to get back, to challenge, to force those other teams not to maintain that high level. And it's tough to do it against players like this.
Yeah, and now here we are at match point.
The lights have just come on.
So Jardim serving for the match and a spot in the gold medal match. And there it is. Affleck unable to get it over the net, and that will do. What a comeback, resounding fashion after dropping game 1 and losing 5-11. They come back 11-2, 11-2 in games 2 and 3, and they will move on. Jardim and Yates against Ansberry and McGuffin in the gold medal match. We will have that coming your way. But first, interviews with the winners coming up next after this timeout. Stay with us here from Las Vegas. Welcome back to Las Vegas. We are just about set for the gold medal match in the mixed doubles pro division. But first, let's talk about the people who came through the opportunity bracket, if you will, to get back into the gold medal match. Simone, Jardim, and Kyle Yates. We didn't really expect to see you guys coming through this end of the bracket, but you played your way back in, and you have to feel a lot better than you did an hour and a half ago or so after losing and a chance to get through the first time.
Yeah, you know, and it's part of playing a tournament. You're going to lose sometimes. And for us, it's really having, when we get out of that, is coming back to play the bronze medal match, is being ready. And I feel like we were, but they just came out of the gates like they were playing really, really well. So it's not, you know, we were ready to play, but they were really, really ready.
Momentum kind of seemed to turn a little bit, Kyle, on that questionable call, and you had to kind of they had to take a stoppage and kind of get things right. Ultimately, they did get things right, but did you use that emotion to kind of fuel you a little bit?
Well, I mean, just credit to both teams for being, you know, such good sports. I mean, I think we overruled a call for them, they overruled one for us. So it's like, you know, we felt like we made the right decision, you know, ultimately, and so we felt we had a clean conscience about it, knowing that, hey, we didn't steal a point from them. We gave them the fair shot. So after that, I think we just loosened up and just played, and we started playing better.
Mark Renison made the point that maybe he feels some of the players would rather just make their own calls. Do you guys feel that way as well?
I mean, honestly, I sleep well at night. I sleep really well. So I'm, you know, to me, is like, I'm not going to take a point on somebody's in ball. So, but, you know, I guess like sometimes they are here to make things. I mean, we are playing for money, and I get it. It's just that sometimes if the players agree, then, you know, and again, it's just part of the rule, and we know that's their job, and they gotta do their job. So we just want to make sure that we all get on the same page.
I'll ask you real quick. I know you want to go get ready for the gold medal match, but Ansberry and McGuffin, they were low a couple hours ago. How do you approach them differently this time?
I mean, I thought we played fine against them the first time. We lost that first game. It was pretty tight, and then we felt pretty good the second game, and the third game they just kind of stepped it up. So I think we're just need some energy. It's been a long day, but I think we can muster up some energy and see if we can take them, the distance.
All right, guys, go get ready, and looking forward to seeing what you have in store in the gold medal match. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, our coverage of that match coming your way next on our live stream from Las Vegas, Nevada.